All right, boys, we're live. Welcome back. We're a full house, full team, full strength team for a change. It's good to have both Josh and Alex back with us. I can see Buzz already in the chat. Welcome along, Buzz. Ever present. Good to see you again. Thanks for being here. Josh, how are you doing, my friend? How's it been?
Hey, it's been a crazy last couple of weeks. Ended up getting sick. I missed, the last stream, some travel, all that good stuff. But happy to be here. Feel good today, and good boxing last night. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we've got plenty to cover. We'll get to that momentarily. Alex, how are you doing?
Pleasure, man. Coming off a great day of boxing, so here we are speaking about it. I think if you're here, it's probably one of the favorite things for you as well. So welcome, everybody.
Yeah, welcome. Big 47, he is with us. Nice to see you again. Familiar face, or name even. All right, let's get up to speed on the results. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to speed through the results from a couple of weeks back. Me and Alex covered them on the last stream. But I don't think it's really worth stopping for too long to discuss unless anything sticks out. So on the 16th, Shakur Stevenson got a win over Edwin de los Santos. If you want to shout out about anything in particular, then stop me, but I'm just literally going to read out the results. And Emmanuel Navarrete and Robson Conceição got a draw. Is that right? Majority draw. Decision. Okay. Is that one worth talking about, Josh?
I think it's certainly worth mentioning. It turned out to be a very good fight. Conceição showed a lot of heart. He went down in the fight, and he didn't let that deter him. And he battled through to the end, and it made for a great contest. On paper coming in, I thought that Navarrete would win. And for a minute there, it looked like he was about to get the victory. But Conceição, got to give it to him. He bit down and did what he needed to do. And it just made for what could potentially be a rematch, given that it's a draw. It was a draw and an exciting fight. Now, I did score the fight. I gave a slight edge to Navarrete in my scoring, but this was one of those fights that it was close enough that any swing round could have gone the other way and could have altered the judging. And Navarrete, the story of it was Navarrete had, I believe it was 2 knockdowns in the fight. So that's what helped him as far as being there in the end. And Conceição, he closed fairly strong. So very good fight. Hopefully we see a rematch because I believe that's pretty much a good fight that could be on tap for 130 outside of one of them going against Oshaki Foster. I can't remember who else has a belt there. Joe Cordina, I believe. But that being said, I'd be game for a rematch between the two because it was close enough and exciting enough.
Yeah. Okay. Alex, did you watch it and do you want to give some thoughts on it?
Yeah, definitely was a fight that, I think most people that knew boxing were under understanding that Conceição is a tough dude, a guy that has, good qualities. So it was expected to have some kind of, to be competitive, apologies. And it was more competitive than I thought. I knew he'd give him some pushback, but I felt that Navarrete would probably be too big, too strong. But Conceição is not a little guy. And he ain't no weak punk, and he showed that because, he had great, volume. He was overwhelming Navarrete, it seemed a bit, but Navarrete was a bit too strong in the sense of punching power, knocked him down twice. I felt like Navarrete dropped the ball here. There was a lot of momentum about him fighting Shakur. They were talking about all their common opponents, and Navarrete did it better. And then when it came to Conceição, that was not the case. So, I think rematch makes the most sense. Go ahead and right that wrong, which, that we've seen great fighters do that. We've seen Canelo do that in recent times. And then you go through the history, Sugar Ray Leonard, he had a got an L, ran it right back with Duran, causes no mas. So, I'm not saying Navarrete belongs to be in that conversation. I'm just saying, that's what we like about certain fighters. And Navarrete seemed to have a growing fan base. And, if you want that Shakur fight, or if you want that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what there really is at 130 for him. Could it be an Albert Bell, #1 WBO? I don't think people are clamoring for that, though it would be deserved. But most people think Navarrete, he should move up. Those are where the big fights are. And right that wrong, and let's see where it goes.
Yeah, agreed. Sweet. Okay, let's move things along then. I think that same weekend, Diego Pacheco, I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah.
Pacheco, he got a stoppage win in the 9th round, and Erica Cruz Hernandez got a win on that card as well. Luckily, Yafai got beaten in the first round from Jonathan Rodriguez, and then I think he retired.
Yeah.
So there we go. Also that weekend over in Manchester, Nick Ball outpointed Isaac Dogbay, pretty one-sided. He didn't get the stoppage, which maybe people was hoping for and expecting, but it was a pretty decisive victory. Nathan Heedy got a kind of a big shock upset against Denzel Bentley. That was a very good fight and interesting. You want to touch on that one, Alex? What do you think of that one?
Bentley, I think everyone just kind of penciled in he was probably going to stop this guy. And what's his name? Nathan
Haney.
Man, he showed that not only did he come to win, but he outclassed Denzel Bentley, who, like I said, Bentley was just expected to, this is just to keep the cobwebs off, probably get him into another big fight, probably something domestic, try to get back on that world stage. And that was all taken from him. Was it that he wasn't prepared? Did he not take the guy seriously? Probably. And
yeah, maybe.
You pay the price. You go in there, you don't give it your all. Listen, you guys are grown men fighting other grown men. These guys do this for a living as well. And shout out to that gentleman. He showed real boxing skills. He showed grit. Shout out to his corner. I mean, I think just the things they were saying in between, I can't remember exactly, but I just remember it was just seemed pinpoint. They kept him focused. And he deserves to go ahead and take Bentley's spot into whatever they had planned for Denzel.
Yeah, it was a good win. I know he was an underdog, and kind of it's seen as a ticket seller. He brings a big crowd with him, with Stoke fans. That's the football club. But yeah, it was a good win. Did you want to say anything about that one, Josh, before we move on?
No, I actually did not catch it, but that's news for me. I still have to catch it up to do. That was but that's good to know, that and the Nick Ball fight. I like Nick Ball. I think he's pretty solid overall. So I didn't know he was fighting Dogbay, but man, hey, that's news for me right there. So that's all I have to say. Good stuff.
Yeah, okay, no worries. All right, we'll move on to this weekend then, because we've got quite a bit to get through. Excuse me, and we want to get onto our scoring watch along. Over in Ireland then, first, Chantal Cameron versus Katie Taylor 2, the rematch. Highly anticipated. The first fight was good. Last night was supposed to be excellent as well. Josh, we'll come to you first for this one. I gather you caught it. I've not checked that before the stream, but give us some thoughts.
Yes. Excuse me. I think these two are made for each other from a stylistic standpoint. And this turned out to be an exciting fight, much like the last one. But this time, I feel that Katie Taylor, she went back to the drawing board, and she went back, worked on her game a bit, and got herself prepped and ready for dealing with the bigger Chantel Cameron. And you could tell that from the opening bell, because Katie Taylor took charge on offense. I ended up scoring it via Fight Night scores. I had it 96-94, which I think was probably somewhere around the consensus for most. But it was a fight that had some ebbs and flows, as far as Katie Taylor was dominating the early rounds. Then Chantel Cameron started to come on a bit. You could see her size start to take fold, and Katie Taylor started to get a bit winded as well. But she was able to bounce back and keep the offense going enough to where she was able to get the edge on Chantel Cameron. And I think that this puts the Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano fight, the rematch that we wanted to see, kind of on the back burner. And I'm sure that's not a problem for Eddie Hearn, since he is the promoter for both Chantel Cameron and Katie Taylor. So he doesn't have to deal with Jake Paul as far as most valuable promotions in order to make that Katie Taylor fight, or Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano fight. And with Katie now winning the undisputed titles at 140 pounds, this is probably where she'll continue to campaign until her career comes to a close. And hey, kudos to her. She's done a lot of great things for the sport. And here, even at this age, I want to say she's around 36, 37, somewhere in there. And she's been able to pick up the undisputed titles against a very game Chantel Cameron. And the two fights between them, they were good enough, exciting enough, and close enough that I think that trilogy is warranted next. And that may be what we get in the spring or summer, as far as what Eddie Hearn stated. But a great effort from both of them. It was a big gash on Chantel Cameron's head. She fought through it. The blood, her cut man did a real good job, because it wasn't bleeding as profusely as it could have been bleeding. They did a good job of stopping it in between rounds. But that being said, just a good fight, good contest for both of them. And I think they're a great matchup any way you slice it. So I look forward to the trilogy. That makes the most sense right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, both fights close enough to warrant it. Yeah, Alex, did you catch that one? What did you make of the?
Yeah, coming in, I thought Cameron was going to be too big, too strong, which kind of seemed like a theme for most of the fights I was looking at this weekend. And she was bigger, obviously, right? It's kind of interesting. They kind of look pretty similar in there, just like 1 8 more. They both had the braids, both wearing all black. But anyways, you're watching the fight. Yeah, Katie, you got to give it to her. She made adjustments. She, was being quick and fast. In and outs. And Chantel, her adjustments seemed to be plotting forward more, which I thought was really interesting, because I felt she did so well from that mid to long range in the first fight. And I don't know if she wanted to stop her, if that was the plan. Maybe they thought that Katie was going to make a different adjustment. And, I felt definitely Cameron should have went ahead and just got back to what led to success that first fight. She didn't, or she couldn't. Katie Taylor just proved to be the better fighter on how this fight was going. In regards to the fight, it kind of sucks, because the first round just felt like that was, a knockdown. So, would that have changed the fight if they scored it a knockdown? I think 2 to 3 judges gave that first round to Chantel, so it wouldn't have been a huge difference on how the scores turned out to be. But like I said, I could have changed the whole fight if scored properly. And then, in the middle rounds to the end, we were getting good action. Again, some nice back and forths. And then towards the end, man, all that holding, it was just so excessive, and it just really killed what could have been seen as a good fight that everyone could have been raving about. And I mean, she had to hold because she was tired, I'm sure. I guess that walking down started to wear on her, but she pulled the victory out. I think I had it scored as a draw, but I mean, not upset. I believe it was a majority decision, which I think the first one was a majority decision as well. So, yeah, like you said, most people kind of want that Serrano fight ran back again, but it just seems like it makes a lot of sense to run this a third time, because it just seemed like a successful event.
Yeah, I think if Taylor does the trilogy, it does make the most sense. If you're going to have a trilogy, you have them back to back to back, don't you? She wins that, and then she can fight Serrano maybe as a final swan song for her before retiring. That'd be a good route to take. And maybe even if she loses the rematch to Cameron, the Serrano fight's still there anyway, because that first fight was great and people had rewatched that as well. So yeah, I only saw actual highlights of the fight. I didn't see it last night at all. So from the highlights, it looked like a good fight, but obviously I cut out all of the holding section of the fight. So yeah, maybe it wasn't quite as great as it seemed on the highlights package, I guess. Okay, we'll move on. The undercard to that isn't really worth mentioning much about. There was wins for Zelfa Barrett, John Cooney, Sky Nicholson, Paddy Donovan, and Gary Cully. That takes care of that. Well, let's move on to our last event before we start our scoring watch along. Over in the US, it was David Benavidez against Demetrius Andrade, or Andrade, however you want to say it. Alex, give us your verdict on that one, please.
This was Demetrius Andrade's first real big fight. Some people will say first real quote unquote champion. He's been clamoring for years to get the Canelo shot. Third weight class. Quote unquote chasing. And man, I was expecting him to lay it all on the line, to try to give his best performance and to do everything he can to get what he feels is well deserved. Going against David Benavidez, this was seen as like a monster versus monster, boogeyman versus boogeyman, or really the Mexican monster, right? And man, you got to give it to Andrade in that beginning. I expected him to start off well, and that's exactly what he did. He was trying to show that he's strong, trying to push the Mexican monster back, laying out combinations, flowing so well. Looked like he, just was trying to show that he was comfortable enough, take the fight to the bully. And it was looking good those first couple rounds. Benavidez was staying patient, had his back on the ropes, never looked like he panicked. And man, about the third round, I noticed about the last minute or so, just the energy of Andre just seemed to just went too low, and he just couldn't get it back. And it just turned to the David Benavidez show. Just too strong, too big, and just too good at this 168-pound division. It was definitely a showcase fight. When that back end of went 6 rounds. So those last 3 rounds, he just really put it on Andrade, hit him with a monster right shot, right hand. I don't know how Andrade got up. I guess thankfully that the bell rang. It stinks because he tried even after getting blasted, but he knew he just couldn't deal with it anymore. Toes his corner, stop it. It's you don't want to see a fighter really go out like that, but it's easier said than done to keep going out there. That last round was a really bad whooping. I think it was like 36 lands to single digits. Mm-hmm. So Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. Is there another fight to make? Absolutely. Listen, Team Canelo Alvarez, Eddie Reynoso, PBC, Al Heyman, anybody that's affiliated with making the fights, just stop it. There's no other fight. We don't care to see Jaime Munguia. We don't care to see Jamal Charlo versus Canelo. There's one fight. I don't care if there's 3 fights, 35 fights on the fight contract. There's nothing else. If you look at, David Benavidez, he needs to fight this guy, or he needs to do this. Okay, let's compare another fighter that wants to fight Canelo. Jaime Munguia, what pay-per-views that he's done? What multi-million-dollar gates has he's done? If you want to talk money, right? He hasn't done any, right? Who has Jaime Munguia beat that's better than David Benavidez's opponents? He just beat Andrade and Plant back to back. Plant was fought Canelo for undisputed, did 800,000 going back to business, and that's what everyone always wants to talk about. 800,000 pay-per-views, right? Demetrius Andrade was an undefeated multi-division champion who, like I said before, was chasing Canelo. So people said Canelo was ducking him. Benavidez just got him out of there at 6 and made him quit on his stool. Something no one has been able to do. No one even want to take the challenge of Andrade. Whatever you might say. Horrible fighter. Well, if he was so horrible, why didn't Canelo go out there and do what Benavidez did? So Canelo versus David Benavidez. Give it to us May 2024. Don't care to see anything else when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. The Mexican monster. Do I think he's a monster? No. But you keep not fighting him, that monster moniker is going to be engraved whenever you see David Benavidez. All right, that's all I got to say. Sorry.
That's all right. Josh, your go. What do you make of this fight? And then obviously a future fight with Canelo. Tell us how you think that goes.
Yeah, I honestly agree with everything that Alex just stated there. as far as how the fight went, and then what we may have entailed next. Sometimes I do feel that Demetrius Andrade, he got a bad rep. There are a lot of fans out there that don't like him, but I always found him to be very talented game fighter. And I think we could have seen even more of him at his peak if some of those challenges would have happened, like him against the Charlos. Those were always sort of rumored to be out there, things of that nature. Maybe him against Danny Jacobs at some point. That would have been a good one as well, but we never got to see any of those. So kudos to him for stepping up at 168 to take on the Mexican monster, like Tyson's favorite fighter to watch right now. And hey, you have to feel the wrath there. So I'm with Alex. Canelo versus Benavidez. That's the fight to be made. That is the best fight in boxing right now, as far as I'm concerned, when you think about just what could happen from a stylistic standpoint. And hey, Canelo, of course, he's the top dog right now, so he gets to make decisions, but he could make this fight happen, and he can make it happen next if he wants it. Yeah, I'm with you, Alex. Who cares about this 3-fight deal? And they want to do it at the back end or as the last fight. The time is right now. Both this worked out from a timing perspective that both have knocked out their final fight for this year, and we could have this on Cinco de Mayo, and I think it'll be huge. Whether it's in Vegas or California, New York, it doesn't matter. It'll be huge wherever it is. Vegas will be the likely location, but I hope we get that fight next, because I think as far as boxing is concerned, that is probably the top matchup, at least right now, that sits atop the throne as the best fights in boxing. And there's no better build-up than what David Benavidez was able to do by going in there and dispatching of Demetrius Andrade in the way that he did. So let's go, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. I think it has to be, doesn't it, the best matchup possible at the moment in the sport. I won't get any predictions for that just yet from you both until it actually gets announced, and we'll talk about that in future, no doubt. Okay, also on the undercard, I guess, to that big fight, Subriel Matias got a stoppage. That looks impressive against Gashev. Josh, go on, you give us some thoughts on that one.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that, yeah. Hey, Puerto Rico, stand up. I'm sure Alex is going to be in agreement. Matias, he is one of the top dogs there at 140, and his power is real. And it's not so glaring in the sense that, you just look at him and think, one punch knockout power style. But man, the way he just works from the inside, he just puts it on fighters, and they just can't withstand it over the course of 12 rounds. And we saw that with Ergashev. As a matter of fact, I thought Ergashev would put up more of a fight, and he looked good in the first round. I think I gave him the first round, maybe even close in that second one, but he literally, started getting hammered and quit on his stool. I didn't expect him to go out like that, but I mean, the writing was on the wall, so I guess you can't blame him as far as he knew what was in store had he gone back out there that next round, because he was about to go down within that next round or the round after, and I think he was going to leave there flat on his back had that been the case. So he made a business decision. He's like, hey, I'm good. And Subriel Matias, one of the top names there at 140. And hey, he could make for an interesting fight with any of the guys that we consider to be the top dogs there, whether that's Regis Prograis, Devin Haney. He and Josh Taylor would be an interesting one. I don't know if that happens, but just thinking about the stylistic side of it, that would be a very interesting one. He's a name there in the mix. Teofimo Lopez, that would be an interesting one. So I like Subriel Matias, and I think that, yeah, he brings the excitement. I've seen him fight live before as well, and he's a real deal. He's legit. He avenged the one loss that is on his record. All of his wins have been via stoppage. I mean, what more could you ask for, especially if you're someone who is for the exciting side or the brutal side of boxing, just seeing a guy in there applying his trade and applying that pressure in the way that Matias does. So I want to see what's next. Hopefully he gets one of the top dogs next as far as names are concerned, or the winner of Haney Prograis. I'd be cool with that even.
Yeah, Alex, what do you make of that potential fight and also the victory last night?
So there was like a lot of hype coming behind Ergashev out of nowhere. I know I've seen the name. I know he's been on Showbox before, so there was a small exposure to the here in the U.S. You come out of the Crunk Gym, 6 years on the Uzbekistan team. They compared him. His promoter, Dmitry Salita, was comparing him to Manny Pacquiao in terms of his relevance in his country. So there was and everyone over there in that Michigan, Detroit area was saying like, yo, this dude he's nice. He's the real deal. This fight is not ending is not going to decision, which turned out to be true. He came out, blitzed him just like Jeremiah Ponce. Same thing when Sabril won the title. Dude came out, threw a lot of punches, landed a lot of good stuff. But if you looked at Matias, didn't worry about anything. It was similar to what we saw later on that night with Benavidez. Let this guy show what you got. And once it's his turn, I compare it to if you ever played one-on-one basketball, make it take it, right? Let the guy get a couple buckets, you see a little bit of his moves, see what he's got, blah blah blah, and then you're like, all right, my turn, make a miss and never get the ball back. Ergashev never got the ball back. It turned out to be mercy rule. It's unfortunate. You never, like I said with Andrade, you never want to see these guys have to say, I'm done. And 5 in a row for Sabril Matias. Everyone made it such a big deal when Lomachenko did it. Lomachenko was frustrating these people, just coming up with excuses and oh, my hand, I forgot to walk my cat, I got to go home. And Ergashev, said he couldn't feel his leg or something was wrong with his leg. Taking that pounding, like you said, it looked like he was definitely about to get lights out. Sabril Matias, man. People say monster. I don't really like the term, but when you do stuff like that, what else do you want to call these people? He's definitely a dude in there. He's there to beat you up. He's not there to get into no cute little match. If you want to do tit for tat with Sabril Matias, most likely you're going to figure out you probably don't want to do this anymore. You might want to, early night, go do something else, figure out a cat to walk. I don't know, man. Next, who's going to want to fight the guy? He's obviously a challenge, but without a Puerto Rico backing him, without PBC money rolling him, it's unfortunate because the guy goes in there, performs, which is what you want to see as a fight fan. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Mexicans support Sabril Matias more than Puerto Rico after this fight. He trains in Mexico, trains with William Cepeda. It just doesn't seem that PBC doesn't know how to market him to the Puerto Rican public, or Puerto Rico just seems to be out of the boxing, loop when it comes to their athletes. Him against the winner of Regis, Devin Haney, I guess would be, obviously a top target. Remember, I don't know if people remember this. He was talked about going over to Matchroom. That was the big talk before the Haney wrote Regis. So maybe that's still a possibility. Would Jack Catterall want that? I doubt it. If I'm Devin Regis, is that really what I want next? I mean, there's a lot of options. So, yeah, he's in a tough place, man. So we'll see what the future holds. But I think he's an issue, a problem for any and everybody currently at 140 pounds.
Yeah. I think time's moving on. I was going to ask where you think he could stand in amongst that 140 crowd. It's a crowded division and lots of big names in and around those divisions as well. So it's always good to have another name up there. But I guess we'll talk about him again in the not too distant future, and we'll bring up that point at that point. So there's too much to cover on this card, unfortunately. I think we just need to move things along. Unless, you want to shout out anything about these other fights. But Lemon Roach got a win over Hector Luis Garcia.
DMV.
Yeah.
Michael Rivera beat Sergey Lipinets.
That was a tough fight to call, man, going in. Everyone thought, Lipinets too experienced. Michelle, coming off of the failed drug test and looking one-sided loss to Frank Martin. I expected Michelle to do exactly what he did. Outbox him too fast. Lipinets, I don't know where he's going to go from here because he just too much inactivity coming in the ring. You never know where you're going to get. But, shout out Michelle Rivera. Does he want to get stopped by Saburo Matias?
Interesting. And hey, salute to Lamont Roach for pulling it off, able to get his first world title. He was close to such, or at least had an opportunity in there with Jamel Herring when he hurt him, and he was able to, or Herring was able to recover and went on to win a decision. I thought history would repeat itself in some sense when Lamont Roach hurt Hector Garcia, but he couldn't finish him. He couldn't stop him. But he did what he needed to do to continue to hold on and had built up some stock in those latter portions of the round because he started a bit slow, which is customary for him. And hey, kudos to him. He's a name there at 130 who has a title. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here. But salute, he's out of the area here as well. So I want to send a nod to him.
Cool. The other big name on there, I guess, was Jamal Charlo got a win over Jose Benavidez. Was that worth any mention?
Shout out Jamal Charlo getting, getting back in the ring after 30 months.
Yeah.
He did exactly what was expected. It's unfortunate he missed weight. Didn't seem like he really cared to make it. Jose Benavidez was, as expected, outgunned, too small. Tough guy came to fight. Jamal Charlo, what's next? Nobody knows. 160 doesn't like he's ever going to make that again. 168, I don't know how he's going to handle those big boys. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't want anything to do with David Benavidez. We've seen him fight on Andrade. Would he want to take on, I don't know, Caleb Plant actually is the fight I want to see. He got smacked hard as shit on the internet, being replayed whenever they mention one or the other.
Yeah,
so it has great buildup. So, yeah, why not? Caleb Plant, he's not seen as a big puncher, but we all seen what he can do when he, detonates. Jamal Charlo, undefeated, former two-weight division champ. People love those accolades. So let's get it.
Yep. Hey, I'm in agreement right there. Let's do it. Charlo versus Plant. The promotion is already there. What more do they need? That should be next for him. And for Jose Benavidez, he's kind of a man with no home in the sense that he's a little too slow and plotting for 147. Can't see him getting the title there, and really can't see him realistically in title contention at 154 or 160, though. He showed that he at least can take punches at the weight. So he's a high-level tune-up, I guess, at this point, but we'll see what he does next as well.
Yeah. All right, cool. That covers everything. We'll get things moving along now. Boz is going to have a fit if we don't get started.
I'm sure he'll survive.
Yeah. Okay, so it is time to do our watch and score fight for this week. Alex, give us some introductions to this one, please, my friend.
Absolutely. So we got Sergey Kovalev versus Andre Ward 1. Let's start with the challenger, Andre SOG Ward, coming in at 32 years old, 6 foot, 71-inch reach from Oakland, California, the Bay. Former WBA and WBC, The Ring, super middleweight world champion, last American to win gold, 2004 light heavyweight gold medalist in Greece. Coming in at 30-0, 15 KOs, he is The Ring, ESPN, BWAA, and if I not mention Sports Illustrated, Fighter of the Year in 2011. All right, now Sergey the Crusher Kovalev, coming in 33 years old, 6 foot, 72.5-inch reach from Kopesk, Russia. He, The Ring Magazine and Sports Illustrated 2014 Fighter of the Year, current WBA, IBF, and WBA light heavyweight champion, 30-0, 26 KOs.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for that. This should be good. Should be controversial. It is in our controversial fights list on the website. So if you are struggling to find where you can score this fight, there is a link in this description. There's several links in the chat, especially for Boz. And you can also find it in the, like I say, in the controversial fight section from the menu on the website. It is listed in there. You can get to there and you can create your own scorecard along with us. Just a quick mention that if you want to join our scoring group, the instructions were on screen a little bit earlier, but you can be a registered member of the website. You can access groups. You can join our group with the access code, which is also in the video description. And then once you're in there, you'll be able to see all of our scorecards side by side, and you'll also see them in the stream. Right, let's play. We're straight into the bell, I think. And we'll just make sure we have a low volume.
I was always excited about this fight. I was a big fan of Andre Ward. It's going to be interesting to see how these scores go. I know what I thought when it happened in real time, but we're about to see what the real deal is here now.
Nah, man, this is definitely a big hype fight. Andre Ward was seen as the always number 2 to Floyd Mayweather for many years. Especially after winning the what was it called, the Super 6 tournament.
Yeah, that's right.
Coming in as a guy that just was taking part. Shout out Conor McGregor because he took over. See the Crusher symbol everywhere. Good branding there. Got the big K.
Yeah, looking back, man, Kovalev had a pretty nice run, and he was running through some top-level cats, or at least those that we thought were going to be able to give him some problems. Man, he was a real deal.
Bit of a monster, dare I say, back at this time.
Yep, exactly. He was seen as a monster. People, everything was about that 1-2. He had a great jab and a hard right hand that people just couldn't stand up to.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember he came over to the UK. I think he was in the UK against Nathan Cleverly.
Yep.
Just smashed him up.
Mm-hmm.
Cleverly was on a good run.
Well, looks like Kovalev landed something there that Ward said, no, thank you.
I'm gonna rugby tackle you. Keep an eye on the stream.
It was mostly a lot of just jabs in the beginning to Kovalev finally landed that right.
Mm-hmm.
To exchange body punches, body jabs. And you see the game plan seems to be when Kovalev tries to close that distance or just throw that 2, smother.
Yeah.
You see Ward's actually, Kovalev's stepping first instead of Ward stepping first trying to counter. So it's a little bit of an interesting battle how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice little soft hook. Kovalev definitely has to be feeling good so far.
Nice jab, that, isn't it? Crisp. Yeah. Very crisp.
Yeah, thinking the same thing. Of course, we know Ward for his skill, but you can see there Kovalev with that jab, as you mentioned, hey, pretty accurate.
So John David Jackson in the corner.
John David Jackson, yep.
Former, I think, 154, 160 pounder himself.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put the video back up in a second.
They actually both fought Sergey Kovalev. I mean, they actually both fought Bernard Hopkins, I believe.
Oh yeah, John David Jackson and Kovalev.
Mm-hmm. I lost $100. I don't know what I was thinking betting on Bernard Hopkins. I was just not a Kovalev fan.
Yeah, Kovalev overwhelmed him. Yeah, Bernard was looking good against certain opponents, but man,
And Ward's just so reactive to everything Kovalev's doing. Just shows you the danger.
Let's get that round to Kovalev. If you're stopping by and watching along, let us know who you think won that round. Beagle's also giving it to Kov as well.
All right. I think everybody's probably in agreement. First time in a long time.
That's true.
See the feints. Man, Sergey's just noticing he is reacting to everything.
Oh, yeah.
Team, for the most part, is being kept in the middle of the ring this round. And then Sergey said, "Oh, I hear you. I'm going to step back."
Oh, that's a beauty.
Another aspect, of course, Ward at 168. You know, when we got on the inside, for the most part, he could bully some guys and kind of control what was happening in the pocket. Definitely tie him up. But in this case, Kovalev looks to be the stronger fighter. So we have that dynamic playing out as well.
One thing I noticed, Ward's definitely been going up and down with his jab. But last 20 seconds seems he does not want to engage at all. Really wants to catch a lot with his right hand. Interesting.
Oh,
bad idea. Trying to exchange right hands.
Forgot about that.
There, my friend. He definitely felt that shot.
Oh, yeah.
Looked like he wanted to slam Kovalev for a second. But take a single leg.
All right.
He's just like got the timing down, hasn't he, Kovalev? He's not missing with the jab, the right cross.
He looks so comfortable. He's leaving his feet hitting that jab.
Yeah.
It's dominant round. Dominant.
Extremely dominant.
Ward was a guy who would generally dictate the pace of a fight, but Kovalev's not having it.
I'm just going to do pause. Maybe the Boz has mentioned the video on isn't doing too well, so hopefully that might clear it up if it's just paused for a second. I'm not sure what the issue is.
The great duo of Virgil Hunter and Andre Ward. Yep. Right hands at the same time. One was just better than the other.
Yeah.
Make sure to hit the like button, by the way, folks, if you're enjoying the stream. And subscribe. Come and join us in the future.
And look how he got out the line, Kovalev, when he threw there. It's a beautiful shot. It's exactly how you draw it up. A lot to be happy for. A lot to be happy in the fight for the Kovalev family, as you see.
Yeah. And if that punch would have turned a little bit more, I think it would have been even worse for Andre Ward.
Yeah, for sure. There you go. Back.
Get your scores in.
Wrestle, baby.
2017, says Boz. It has to be the score. We might be all in agreement again. 2 rounds.
So Andre Ward just learned he can't be at the end of the punches.
Yeah.
That is for sure. I had mentioned how he was staying on the outside so much, and it was bad for him. So You see, now he's not keeping that much space, but he definitely does. There's a range he knows he doesn't want to be at for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So how does he close the gap? I don't think that's a good thing to do there, Ward.
Right.
He's definitely having to pay the cost to get to a better range.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice. That was a hook and then a jab. You don't see that too often.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a better round from Ward. I would say he's landed the better shots. Kovalev has been putting the pressure the whole time.
Yeah.
Big clubbing, probably a little bit behind the head there, if he even landed it at all.
Yeah. And one thing about Ward, I guess you can call it the craftiness, is when he gets in those clinches, he's not waiting for the ref. He's going to continue to punch. That's something he was customarily used to throughout his career, taking advantage of those inside clinches.
Interesting round, I'd say.
I think it was pretty close. Pretty close.
Certainly a close one.
Yeah, I agree, Buzz. That was a bit of a dull round.
Yeah.
It was really hard to talk about. I'm not gonna lie. It's like I gotta say something, right? You don't want dead air. But I'll say this: I like what Ward did. I had mentioned that hook, the jab. He landed like 3 solid jabs, but he still seems he doesn't really know exactly what he wants to do. Kovalev is chilling. He's like, hey, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and I already landed the one shot. I can and will do it again.
Yeah.
That's the spirit, boss. Just gonna score it even. Beagle gave that one, edged it to Ward.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that daft nickname he had.
Interesting, yeah, man. Kovalev, he's a dirty motherfucker, man. I mean, literally every time he's like, "Yo, you're gonna grab me at my waist. You're getting headlocked. I'm squeezing on that headlock." Oof, man, Ward is
Great shot.
Yeah.
Ward is brave, man. He knows he has to land something.
Yeah. Certainly had to get the respect of Kovalev, those that were successful against him.
There's such a nice jab to the body. Throws it in a way where if he tries to come over the top, he's going to hit, Kovalev's going to hit his arm. Nice defense. That was really nice. No punches thrown, but how he steps back, ducks, and then steps forward while evading the incoming shot. Wow, that was nice.
Mm-hmm. And as you alluded to earlier, Alex, yeah, Ward, you can just tell he's starting to get the distance down and knowing where he needs to be in dealing with the offensive side as far as what Kovalev can offer.
Kovalev missing a lot. I don't know if he's trying to set the right hand up because I seen him throw the jab to the left, to the right. But yeah, definitely seems can't really land as much as he was a little earlier. Interesting. Yeah, they're just literally walking around the freaking ring. Like,
Yeah,
what
there's
the this is
not much urgency at the moment.
nice jab. Just a nice long hard jab, huh?
Yeah.
Always. People always want to talk about the right hand, but it's the jab with Kovalev.
Yeah.
Just wears guys down. Man, I
Close
don't
round.
remember this fight being like this.
Yeah, certainly an interesting one. It's going to be a close one, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, all right, we'll take a pause here. I just need to get us set up so I can see our scorecards.
Not every fight's going to be a banger, and I like it. I think it's such an interesting dynamic between the two. Kovalev, like I said, great jab. The bigger puncher. Both patient fighters, but Andre Ward's having to work. He's having to figure stuff out. He's having to say, all right, this tool's not working. Let me try this one. Let me try to lead hook. Let me try to jab to the body. Let me try to throw right hands with him. That one didn't work.
Yeah, very good style class. You get to see sort of that scientific side of boxing as they're trying to figure each other out here as the rounds gradually go on. Nothing huge and significant as of yet. Well, outside of the knockdown, that did happen, right? That did happen. So I guess that is the huge and significant punch thus far. But as far as the other rounds are concerned, yeah, some little ebbs and flows. No one at this point, at least as far as I'm concerned, has definitively taken over the fight as of yet.
Mm-hmm. I just need to get my scorecard in.
But we knew this would be a high-level matchup coming in. It was kind of like the trajectory was there. The build-up was there. We knew with Ward leaving 168, it was only for one reason, Sergey Crusher Kovalev. And, hey, we got it. I will give them that. It didn't take us very long to get this matchup made, which nods to the promoters.
Okay, let's have a look at this now. Doesn't seem to have updated my card for some reason. Change. I think it needs to refresh. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right, we've got quite a few scores here. I reckon we have a look at the combined scorecard. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, we can see that collectively then, I think there was five scorecards possibly in there. Let's have a look. Round 1, Kovalev. Round 2, Kovalev. I think that was the unanimous decision there anyway. From round 3, it got a bit more competitive. So round 3 was for Ward, round 4 for Ward, round 5 for Ward.
No, we're not there yet. We're not there.
Oh, sorry. Round 4 was even. Round 4 was even. Round 5.
It's next.
What? It's next. Sorry.
It looks like someone has already made their mind up.
Yeah. Someone's put out their scores already.
Is that you, Boz, trying to change the narrative?
No, in fact, I did have a look before the stream. I think Kaiser Koba, who's in our scoring group, has scored this fight a couple of times before. So round 5 onwards, it'll probably just be his scores, essentially. So there you go. So in fact, round 4, I want to have a quick look at the analysis section because we don't really have a look at this one, which is a bit more detailed round by round Oh shit! I can't click into other rounds. Never mind. We'll forget about that idea. Let's just continue. We'll work it out for next time. Why is he whispering?
Virgil Hunter, man, very I don't think you ever meet an individual such as himself. Just him and Andre Ward seem to be the perfect duo. Oof.
Oh yeah. Got a couple laughs left in there.
Ain't that jab like nothing though. You don't see many people take a jab like that. Made him miss every shot after that. Most guys get shell shocked. That jab is no joke, especially the way he landed it. It's chicken arming. Chicken winging, I guess. There goes that headlock. Kovalev definitely seems to be looks as the more comfortable one in the ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ward still aware of that power, and I think, no question, just from what we saw from Kovalev over the course of his career, his power was certainly real. It was certainly legit, and going back to Alex, you mentioned the Bernard Hopkins fight. I think even Bernard Hopkins, it showed on his face when they took on each other.
Yeah, knocked him down that first round, and you could say like, hell no, I ain't trying to get hit by that again. What the hell?
That's a nice job.
And the thing with Ward, sometimes just given his defensive prowess, he can lull you to sleep. So for Kovalev, you can see that he's kind of just acquiescing to the pace of Ward at this particular point. And he started off more with him coming forward on the offensive, but Ward has found a way to actually slow Kovalev down a little bit. And it seems to be from a mental standpoint, in that timing and distance, I guess, has forced such.
Did he land that? No, Ward's giving him a shitload of looks. Jabs to the body. Waiting for Kovalev to be first. You seen the leaping left hooks.
Sweet jab again.
Yeah. Yeah, Kovalev now throwing single punches as well. We need to see more of those combinations like early on. There goes trying a little bit.
And no even rounds because I'm American. There must be a winner.
Right.
When I was deciding about how to create these, ready-made reasons for the system, the even round was only really put in for those where, like, sometimes there literally is a round where the two fighters do nothing, and they might each land a jab or two, and so there's literally that's all I did. So it has to be even, but it is very rare when you'd need to use it, really.
I've seen some fights in the UK where they give 5, 10 rounds. No, if you look at it, I believe the first Duran versus Sugar Ray Leonard had a shitload of 10-10s.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I know. In the amateur system, they tell us not to do that. You hear that, Boz? We don't teach that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's definitely they tell you not to do that here in America for sure. But like you said, man, both guys land one jab and they're just circling each other. What else are you supposed to do?
It doesn't happen often, but it can. It does. Yeah, I think that's a bit unfair there, Boz. I know these are Americans, but I think they're pretty. They see things straight, through the middle.
Who's gonna take over, man? It just seems no one's really taking over. I mean, I like what Ward's doing, but Kovalev is still there. Landing his jabs every now and then, getting close to that right hand. He'll land a hook every so often.
Yeah.
Nice right. Nice short right, too. There goes that lock, baby.
In looking back and just thinking about the matchup in itself, build up to it, I think what we're seeing kind of right now in these current rounds, last couple of rounds, is probably the fight that most were anticipating or most felt would be, or most felt how it would play out, given that we knew Ward would be more on the defensive, and it would be a matter of if he's able to slow down Kovalev in any form offensively, which he's found a way to certainly slow the pace down a good deal here. And it just makes for interesting next half of the fight just to see how Kovalev tends to bounce back from this sort of lower output that he's now on.
It's definitely changed compared to the first couple of rounds when he came out. Bossing really, going forward, controlling. Instead of he's kind of taken a step back, hasn't he?
Yeah.
All right. Manchester United 3-0 over Everton. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, but to miss that one.
Definitely a good round for Kovalev. Started to let his hands go a lot more, especially, when I think Ward felt safe. A lot of times exiting, out of range and such. I mean, they're showing exactly the replays of what I was just speaking about. Just catching Ward trying to change where the fight was going, and as he's exiting, getting hit. Interesting. Straight to the hold. Ward initiates the clinch and then gets out of it. So funny. Slippery, huh? Fucking hate holding, man. It's just nasty work.
Yeah, some referees allow a bit more of it than others. Certainly something to watch.
But man, seriously, I mean, look at him. How does he slip out of the holds? Like, damn. Like you said, man, he's just always been able to utilize that as a weapon. Just keep on working in those clinches that he initiates.
Oh, yeah.
Give it to the referee. He's in the beginning looked like he was gonna be kind of like, hey, break it up, but he's let them work out of it. He's seen that they will.
Yeah.
And give it to Ward for he's not putting his head down anymore. Nice jab. Woo!
That was a sharp one.
That was probably Ward's best punch. And he
he got the crowd going and everything. A jab. It was impressive.
Starting to dig in on that body on the inside as well. Kovalev trying to answer back himself. Some underrated body work taking place right there.
You see it though, Josh. I mean, he's done it the past couple of rounds. Whenever they get out the clinch, he lands a right. Up or down.
Oh, again.
Nice. It definitely looked like he was going to the body there and went up top.
Yeah, and coming into this contest, we weren't used to Kovalev being slowed down to this degree. I think it is that body work that is sort of dictating such.
Oh, that's nice a nice jab going through, yeah.
Another one, okay.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
I mean, like I said, man, I think Josh has been really sharp calling this one shot at a time when it comes to Kovalev. In the beginning, it wasn't really like that.
Right.
Last round, he showed, that he can, throw. Well, I would say, like I say, he was taking advantage of like the dead time, but that was a good round. I think there's an obvious winner, though it was competitive.
Yeah. I'd have to agree.
Definitely, we're starting to see the levels. Both guys showing different things. Jesus Christ. That's hey guys, how do you throw a jab? Bam.
Clean.
Elbow a little bit out, but
right into the
kind
face.
of a power jab. Right there.
That was a nice left right there from Kovalev.
But off his feet. He wants to close that distance. And he doesn't have the foot speed for it, so he's leaping, which he's always kind of done, and he's done it a few times in this fight. But that's the thing. I think he's so heavy-handed that it makes a difference.
Oh, yes.
Nice hook. See his feet. His feet, had a little steppy step.
Yeah, slipped right between the guard there.
And that's how Ward has always been, man. It's just he just does these little things. He's just, his timing, his understanding of distance. It's not flashy. It's not powerful. It's not wow. It's just he does those little things, those little pockets he finds, and he just does it throughout the fight.
Can you go over that?
Andre Ward, love session right now from me.
Yeah, the way Ward operated always kind of reminded me of how Bernard Hopkins operated. Similar capacity there. It wasn't flashy, but man, he just knew how to get in the right punches at the right time, right distance. He was a master at that. And he too was a guy who wasn't afraid to rough things up on the inside.
So that was a specialty. Hold, punch, grab, hold, punch, grab.
By any means.
Though that Jermaine Taylor, didn't we watch the Jermaine Taylor fight or no?
I know we talked about it. Did we actually do it? Interesting. That's going to be interesting.
We did a Jermaine Taylor fight.
Yeah, it was it not Hopkins?
I think it was the second one,
Jermaine
right?
Taylor. Yeah,
I don't
so.
know. But in that fight, he was. No, I watched those fights for sure as recently, and Jermaine Taylor Jermaine Taylor was big, strong, fast. Didn't allow Bernard to hold him as much. Bernard had to fight.
Oh yeah.
So he could do everything. Underrated fighter for sure. Had like 3 careers.
Right. Yeah, one of those memorable ones for sure.
Nice body shot from Kovalev.
Oh, sorry. It was Jermaine Taylor versus Winky Wright.
Okay, Winky. Yeah. Great fight.
Yeah, it was.
Winky don't get... Oh, nice body shot. Kovalev, man. I'd like to see him get behind the jab, double it up. He just seems to be just too indecisive on what he wants to do himself. Just walk forward and kind of hope he lands.
Yep. And as we noted earlier, the jab was most certainly working.
A little bit scrappy there at the end.
Yeah, no, beautiful, beautiful. Kovalev, you know, he's letting him know you're not just going to win all these inside exchanges.
Oh, yeah.
The fight we never got to score. Which one was that? It's been a couple, man.
Yeah.
I remember we were supposed to do Sugar Ray versus Tommy Hearns 2. I went on vacation. We were supposed to do Shane Mosley versus Oscar Valdez, Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah.
That's one I always wanted to get to. That was a hard round to score, Boz. I agree.
Yeah, I'm
having
still deciding.
Oh yeah, exciting matchup too. Some guys made for excellent style clashes.
And what round are we in? I feel like the last few rounds we gotten good action and it's been flying.
That was round 8, so
okay.
I want to compare your two scorecards.
Let's see here.
Bright.
I got a feeling we might be close. Yeah.
It ain't letting me select. Why is it not letting me select things? Please let me select.
Boz, get that score in. And also, Mr. Jim.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing multiple things at once here.
All right, we'll give you a pass. Everyone gives him a pass. All right. He's doing a great job. We appreciate everything you do.
I eventually got there. But now I need to put my score in. Right, I'll put that to the side. Let's compare your two rounds. Okay, so at the very top, we can see the scores. That's interesting. So Alex has got Kovalev up 76-75, whereas Josh has it 76-75 the other way toward. So nice. First couple of rounds were very similar. Kovalev, there's the knockdown round. Round 3, they both gave to Ward. Round 4, exactly the same Ward round. And here we go. We've got some differences of opinions. There we go. Swing rounds then. Round 5 and 6, they were close. So round 5, Alex gave to Kovalev, and Josh gave to Ward. And the same for round 6. Yeah, that's correct. And then round 7, you both gave to Ward, controlling the action, landed the best shots. Yeah. And then that last round was a difference of opinion. So Alex gave that one to Ward and Josh gave that one to Kovalev. Interesting.
Very much. Same score somehow.
We got a 2-point swing.
Yeah, swing opposite ways.
Oh yeah, opposite way. Yeah, I got you.
I'm gonna go back. There you go. Okay, let's continue. Straight into round 9.
Right. Final third.
Wonder if it's the large video that's struggling.
Nice shot by Ward.
Let us know, Boz, when the video goes a little bit small, if it helps, if it makes it a bit more smooth. I'll keep it small.
Counter jab again.
Yeah. Both working behind such, but yeah. Ward's a little bit sharper right now, jab wise.
All right. Kovalev landed a couple shots there. Interesting. We haven't seen him do that yet. Yeah, muscling him around. Got to try something different because Ward definitely has seemed to have gotten very comfortable, found exactly how and where he wants to fight in the ring.
Yeah. A lot of feigning by Kovalev with no punches coming behind him.
And then he got caught.
Nice jab again. That counter jab, man. Oof.
Oh, that's a nice right.
That was kind of on the top of the head. Jesus. I mean, hope his hand's okay.
A good right on the inside there for Kovalev.
Absolutely. He's been doing it every now and then, and I think, but it's more in retaliation to the success Ward has had on the inside.
Yeah. Kovalev seems to have learned that he's going to have to continue punching in the clinch as well.
Kovalev's just stepping forward now. Just can't land. Slippery Ward, huh? Oof. Look, caught the punch, counter jab. Beautiful.
It's like for like at the moment, isn't it? Cove lands, Ward lands.
Yeah.
Bits inside scrapping. Good body work.
Come on, DDT him.
No left over the top. It's a nice shot.
Kovalev's jab has been good, but certainly over the last several rounds, the follow-up has been just short.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit off pace in hey, that's what happens, I guess, when you get a defensive guy in there. You're just trying to anticipate.
I'll come out and say I had Ward winning that round. However, Jim said it. Ward was landing. Now, the effectiveness, I just felt Ward was, like I said, Ward was counter jab. There was, inside work. I just felt like Ward did more, but you can't deny that Kovalev was landing nice short shots.
Yeah.
So good round.
Yeah, I'd go with that. I gave it to Ward as well. I thought his work was just a little bit better. I've just made that a bit too big. Let's change everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Oof, they got me right there. Oh, my eyes.
Hey, we got to beat the algorithm, boys. Sorry.
Sure. Nice jab.
Okay, thank you
nice work from Prograis
for confirming there in the chat that the small video is helpful. So we'll keep it around this size or smaller. All good. You don't get points for flair. Oof. Good body shot. Looks like Boz gave Ward another round.
Man. Beautiful, man. The counter, the jab. Wow, Jesus. Buckled him. I wouldn't say buckle, but made him reshuffle.
Oh, yes.
Oof.
Exchange jabs there, huh?
Yeah. Simultaneous.
Kovalev hasn't really landed a good right hand in such a long time.
Yeah. He's marching forward. He's throwing that jab out there, but yeah, not as much follow-up with the right, for sure.
He's pushing his jab out now, Kovalev. All right, he landed his jab there, but I think he took a punch as well to the body. All right. Appreciate you, ref.
Right.
Interesting round. Kovalev's landing, but like I said, there's been a lot of counter. Jesus Christ.
Nice.
Exchange jabs again.
Hmm.
Been a better round for Kovalev thus far than the last.
Nice jab. There we go.
Made
Couple of
better
rounds.
as Ward was showboating. Eat that, dickhead.
Yeah, exactly. And like, what are you doing, man? This is a close, tight fight. Like,
Yeah.
cut him. Probably barely touched him with that right. Interesting round. I really 10th. Definitely want to note down 10th round. Got to see how people scored that one.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting one, like you mentioned, for sure.
One of the few rounds where it kind of what's supposed to say lost the stream. It's still showing. We're still good.
Or maybe lost the steam.
Oh, lost the steam.
Lots of
Sorry.
steam. Yeah. You know, I read it like Jim at first. yeah, lots of steam. Yes.
Choose your words wisely, mate.
Yeah, right.
I just worried.
Yeah, we got a lot of worries going on, right, Jim? Like, I don't know.
Right.
I gotta say, man.
See, I've made it
First
tiny
few
now.
rounds.
I'm paranoid. Hit the
First
video.
few rounds, I was like, damn, why the hell did we do this fight? But like I said, they're definitely showing that they're two quality fighters, and they're both of them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
It's definitely got better as the fight's gone on. Yeah, we'll make sure to have a look at that round 10 and a bit more.
Championship rounds, man.
Oh yeah. This is where titles are won and lost.
So I'd say the best weapon from Ward has been that counter jab. And he's been able to land it, countering Kovalev up top, or when Kovalev has tried to throw that uppercut or hook to the body. And Kovalev, obviously, it's his jab as well, but nice. He's actually been landing some counter jabs, jabbing with Ward, and I think he's been getting a little bit better of it. It's just Ward has been able to wait for Kovalev to throw it and then land his, while Kovalev is doing it at the same time.
Nice.
There you go. Appreciate, man. Yeah. Rubber Bird was in rare form, man. I got to give it to him.
All right.
Let the fighters fight, right? That's what we want to see. There they go, man. Hitting each other at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh,
nice,
that was
right?
a nice right.
But not much on it.
Yeah.
Ooh, good jab by Ward. And way to get out of there. I'm telling you, man, no one talks about defense as much anymore. Probably not. Well, not really. Probably in the new age of boxing. I don't want to see, Shakur versus De Los Santos defense, but I appreciate it. Nice. Oh, man.
Nice.
Oof.
Kovalev trying to get out of there with his hands down. No.
It could be, nice jab, though.
Yeah.
Another interesting round, huh?
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, I think Boz hit it on the nail of the head. The steam is lost a bit, but not the effort. These are two champions definitely trying to fight to win,
Oh, yes.
All right, just chopping up a little bit. What's happening?
Oh, yeah, that was a close round right
God
there.
Damn.
Very interesting one.
This has been tough to score, man.
Trying to replay in my head.
Yeah.
Even
harder to score when I'm trying to control everything at the same time.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I will say it's going to be an interesting one.
I think we've already seen, like, in comparing your two scorecards earlier, that there's so many of these rounds are swing rounds.
Yeah.
There's only been a very few kind of definitive.
I think when we go back and watch these fights, rescoring them in this fashion, a lot more things are revealed.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
It's just not easy, man.
Yeah.
Everyone likes to throw tomatoes at refs, but I mean judges.
Right.
But shit, I mean, you have to make the decision. You don't have replay. You don't get to talk to someone. What do you think? Or you're listening. Like, he's right. It didn't land.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's some good work.
Shit, man, this shit is chopping up like crazy. We give it a quick pause, maybe that'll help. Because I can't see what the hell's going on.
Is it the same for you, Josh? Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit choppy. A little bit.
Okay. Just pause it for a second.
I agree with Beagle in the chat. I'm sure not seeing a robbery here. I would say so. So far, kind of either way, this is one of those that's close fights. And hey, if you really look at it in terms of the spread, especially when it goes to distance, you expect two elite fighters to be, or you expect it to be close when you have two elite fighters going at it. You look at other sports when you have the two best teams or elite teams, the point spread is pretty small as well.
Okay, let us know how that's going. Is it still choppy?
Yeah.
Shrink
it, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I think that'll be the play. Shrink it and then go back to the other.
And these two fighters are almost the antithesis of each other as far as what brought them here to this level that they're at. I mean, two very different styles of fighters, two very different mentalities as far as what got them here. So, hey, makes for an interesting clash of styles, and thus far certainly a close contest as well.
It's good now. Thank you.
All right, we'll keep it. We'll keep it at this size.
Nice short hook. Can he escape the clinch?
Yeah. And based on how they're fighting, I think both fighters know that this is going to be a close fight, and they want this final round.
Nice body shot again.
Yeah.
Slapping left hook. Like Jim said, let me get a little bigger.
I just don't want you both like squinting and trying to see what's going on.
No, it's perfect.
Right, sweet.
Kovalev continuing to dig to the body as well, trying to retaliate against Ward's body shots.
Nice defense. Oh, I love it.
Can't relax in there with Ward.
No. I think that's the issue too when people watch, like specifically this fight is, Ward's hitting him clean, and obviously it's not it's not buzzing him, it's not hurting him at all. But there's, it's a boxing. Like,
that's nice.
You got to give him credit for landing shots.
Yeah, right. And no question that Kovalev, at times, he was throwing those punches, but he was throwing them a little bit floppily, I would say, or at least without, sitting down on some of those punches. And therefore, that's probably why he was missing.
I can't wait. This is a fight that most people, I think on the common fan, they always say Kovalev was robbed.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's always going to be interesting when you get feedback on if you don't have a Kovalev.
Right, I think they're going straight to the scores here now.
Jim's kind of video there.
Yeah, big time.
And Glenn Trowbridge all scored the contest 114 to 113.
All the same.
By unanimous decision. And new unified light heavyweight
America defeats Russia again.
Boz was right. You always back your own. So that's quite interesting. They all got the exact same scores. I wonder.
But what about us?
Are those scorecards available online anywhere?
Yeah, I'm sure I can.
They're pretty cool to see what the judging analysis was like, and how. Excuse me. How many rounds that they scored exactly the same. That'd be interesting to see if we can find that out. Okay, let's have a look at our stuff. Can we reload this? All right, there are some full scores. This looks interesting then. So, Beagle has it to Andrade Ward. I have it just to Kovalev. So that was 6 rounds each, and obviously the knockdown was the decider for me. Alex has it 114, 113 to Ward. Boz has it for Kovalev by 2, and the widest score I think there is by Josh at 115, 112 to Ward.
Only in America.
Only in America. So
yeah.
Let's have a look at the combined.
Some close rounds there for sure.
So the combined card, this is a biggie. 7 rounds to 4 and 1 even for Andrade Ward.
So going the other way in 1 round, or maybe even 2 of them, but certainly in 1 or 2 rounds, could have just changed the whole outlook of the fight in the aftermath.
Triple G said it best, man. Big drama show.
Big drama show.
Yeah, so looking at the judges' scorecards, all judges agreed on round 1 and 2 for Kovalev.
Okay.
Round 4 for Kovalev. Let me see, any other? That is it. That is the only unanimous on Kovalev. Those 3 rounds. For Ward, they were unanimous on 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5 rounds unanimous for Ward.
Okay.
And again, what were the judges' official scores? I know one was 114, 114.
114, 113, all 3 ways.
All 3?
Oh, okay. 114.
7, 5 Ward, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Interesting, man.
Interesting. Good one. Yeah, I don't think robbery had Kovalev won. Yeah, I don't think it was a robbery. So we throw that out there strongly. I remember some strong opinions on it being a robbery when this fight actually happened. But yeah, I don't think that was the case here.
Yeah, we seem to dispel the myths, most of the time, don't we, on this
Absolutely
series, and this is no different. I don't see a robbery. I know Boz is in the chat saying it is, and he can't believe that anyone sees Ward winning that. But I mean,
He's in the minority.
There's several of us that have just watched that, and I don't think that any of us are biased in any way. In fact, I my scorecard was for Kovalev, but only went by the one round. I'm just trying to get up if it's going to let me.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was it was good catching that one again. Kind of revealed some things. So very much a close fight as I expected. But it was good.
Come on, please work. Please work. It's trying. Shit, man. Okay, that ain't happening. Let's try another way. Let's try in here. Analysis. Oh, bear with me, folks. We're going to get to it. Oh, what year was this? 2016. Going the wrong way. Here we go. Right, okay. Analysis. Can I click into this one? Oh, still, let me do it. Right, forget it. I'm throwing my toys out the pram. Yeah, we're done.
Sweet, man.
Okay.
Glad we did that fight.
Yeah, no, that was enjoyable. Maybe a slow start. Got better as the fight wore on, I thought. Let's see what some people are saying.
Boz, bro. Shout out to Boz. Always appreciate you being here, man. Hey, listen, we need you. Even though you feel you're always on the opposite end of the majority, it's good. Bring balance, of course.
Yeah.
Great comment there by Beagle. Great comment.
Yeah, Beagle says he only knockdown framed the robbery narrative, if you ask me. Possibly. Very possibly. Yeah. Let's see what else. Boz said he hates scoring fights like this. It was a tough fight to score, to be honest. And there's this comment. It was robbed, but you guys can't see it. I gave the fight to him, so that comment isn't true. At least he did recognise that. At least Jim's got it for the right guy. Thank you. There you go. Ward didn't not do enough. Close fight could have gone either way. That's from our very own Josh. And several close rounds. I acknowledge Kovalev could easily have swung the win. There you go.
Hey, we're biased, huh, Vaz? Come on. Get out of here. You don't appreciate the craft of the sport, clearly.
All right, let's get things wrapped up, and always swiftly moving towards 7 p.m. over here. Josh, are you doing a podcast with Buzz?
Oh yes, we're gonna go over there 2 p.m. and get it jumping off. Talk a little bit of boxing. We've missed a couple of weeks, 3 weeks maybe. So yeah, we're just gonna chop it up for a little bit. Feel free to drop by if you have a chance.
Yeah, make sure you do. That's 86 Boxing on YouTube. Make sure you head on over there after we get done. But before we do get finished up, let's just have a look at what's coming up in the not too distant future. I think there's quite a few things that we can cover. Look at that. Look how organised I am. Straight onto it. All right. I'm scrolling. There's some stuff in Argentina. There's some stuff in York Hall at Bethnal Green. Not bothered about France and Japan. And then I think this is the next big-ish event over in Ireland and Belfast. Michael Conlon versus Jordan Gill. That's coming up on December the 2nd. I think Conlon, he got beat, didn't he, last time against Luis Alberto Valdez. Yeah, needs
awkward style to deal with.
It needs to bounce back again for a second time after he got beat by Lee Wood. That was only last year. At least he's pretty active. Josh, give us some thoughts on this event as a whole. I'll stick it up for you there.
Yeah, Conlon, he usually makes for pretty decent, exciting fights. Of course, we know his 2 setbacks. Jordan Gill, guy is going to be scrappy. He's going to move. This should be probably a pretty close fight, I would think. If I had to, bet my money on anything, I'd probably give Conlon the nod here going the distance. But I think that it's probably going to end up being a rather close fight. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a majority decision or a split decision, even in some sense.
Yeah, just checking on Gill's record there. He lost last time out against Kiko Martinez, got knocked out. So, I mean, a lot of people can get knocked out by Kiko, but Alex, go on, give us some opinions on this one.
Yeah, I think this is it's an Eddie Hearn showcase, so it's Michael Conlon's first fight, with them. He's going over there to Northern Ireland, headlining. Jordan Gill, if you don't remember, he had like this crazy comeback against Garfi or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. He is. Yeah, I mean, dude was getting pieced up, getting beat down, and then, one hitter quitters the dude, knocks him down. Dude don't even know where he is. Conlon, I think, faced the same guy, took care of him in one round. So Conlon is seen as the guy, better pedigree, better resume, has been in there with better fighters. So I expect Conlon to win, but how does it happen? Like you said, I think Conlon's going to take a safety first approach for sure. Brent Jordan Gill can punch, and you can never count him out. So you got to be careful. You got to be calculated. But Conlon is the better fighter and should win.
Fair enough. We'll just gloss over the undercard. There's Troy McKenna versus Lewis Croker. There's quite a lot of hype about Lewis Croker. I think he's seen as a potential decent fighter. He's got an unbeaten record, 17 wins, 10 knockouts. He's from Belfast. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he's Irish. And Troy Williamson's also on there against a name I cannot pronounce. If anyone wants to give that one a go, he's also Irish.
Coinham
Agiarco. It's the most Irish sounding name I've heard of.
I don't know if I've seen him. I've seen Williamson, so it should be. It's interesting.
Yeah. It looks like it might be a good test for him if he's expected, to be a bit of an upcomer.
I think he trains with Gary Cully.
Okay.
Oh yeah, okay. Cully was in action last night.
Yeah, he got a win. Did he get a win? I think so.
Yeah.
Gary Cully did, yeah.
Yeah. And Sean McComb and Sam Maxwell. Two familiar names that appear on these cards time and again, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, not too bad a card, I guess, on DAZN, 2nd of December. Let's move on. Because also on that same night, also on DAZN as well, Ryan Garcia is in action. Comeback fight. Alex, what do you make of this one? Give us some predictions. I will put the event up.
Yeah, so Ryan Garcia, like aforementioned, we haven't seen him since the Tank Davis fight. Huge event. One of the more successful events we've had in a very, very long time here. I think it definitely helped give a huge boost to boxing, popularity-wise, also just hype. You get two guys that sold the fight outside the ring. Inside the ring, people, I think, were at the edge of their seats, and we got a definite end to that fight. A lot of people felt like Ryan Garcia quit. I don't really share that opinion. Let Tank Davis hit you to the body as you're, throwing a punch, breathing out to your ribs. Right. And we'll see if like, oh, he got up after 10. Well, yeah, because he's not going to take another punch. So did he quit? I mean, like I said, you get hit, you be the judge. We just saw Ergashev say his leg hurt, right? We just saw Demetrius Andrade tell his corner no more. So technically, is that quitting? Yes. But also it's reality saying, yeah, tonight's not the night. It's just not going to happen. So, he's facing another dude going that, has been a theme of Ryan Garcia before I guess you could even say the Tank Davis fight, because Tank fought one time above 135. They fought at 136. You look at Emmanuel Tago, guy that he brought up. Who was another dude they fought? What's his name? Come on, man. Someone's supposed to slide in the name while I'm trying to go ahead and make my point. But if you look at Ryan Garcia opponents, they're brought up in weight. Duarte.
Sorry,
I think you're thinking about
Javier Fortuna. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. I was trying to remember.
So that's three straight opponents above the weight class they've been campaigning at least in their last fights. When it comes to what's his name, Ryan Garcia. Duarte, 135 pounder, has fought like early in his career, maybe a couple times, which is, that happens, especially as you're coming up the ladder. Duarte, listen, he's an aggressive guy. He comes to, bang. He wants to, basically try to pound you out. Ryan Garcia's first fight with Derek James, he's been there for months. Now's the time to see exactly how much he's improved. We all know he's fast. We all know he has power, but can he put it together with a dude that's coming to knock his head off once again? I expect it. I think that the method is a little tough because you don't want to keep going. You don't want to 12 rounds with a puncher. You want to try to get him out of there if you can. But Duarte's a tough dude. I remember watching him fight Alex Martin. I bet Alex Martin was actually having a lot of success, but we just couldn't handle the pressure and the strength of Duarte. So interesting stylistically, the fight. I'm sure it's going to be aesthetically pleasing, but I expect Ryan Garcia to have his hand raised. Let's go late stoppage.
Okay, looks like he's got a decent knockout ratio here. So potentially a bit of danger there. What do you think, Josh? Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I've seen many people poo-pooing this fight. I think it's going to be fan-friendly. Now, what I will say is I didn't realize at the time that Duarte was going to be coming up, so that's certainly going to be in Garcia's favor. But the matchup in itself, from a stylistic standpoint, it has the makings of something fan-friendly for those that end up watching it. And I do favor Ryan Garcia over the long haul of the contest. But, hey, we've seen worse matchups made, and I think that this is one of those that certainly you think that Garcia's style, or at least Duarte's style, would play into Garcia's favor just in general, especially when Garcia is countering with those left or right hooks. And I just think it's going to be a fairly exciting fight, but I do expect Ryan Garcia to pull the victory off, especially now in light of knowing that Duarte is moving up, which, that's a dynamic we have to certainly take into account.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move things along. Garcia O'Hara Davis is on the undercard to that against Jamel Barroso. Interesting. Shane Mosley Jr. against Joshua Conley. Floyd Schofield is against Ricardo Lopez Torres.
Yeah.
This is the guy that's got a bit of hype about him, hasn't it? Floyd Schofield.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
right.
He needs to fight. Well, the fight that he wants, or at least he's called out, Keyshawn Davis, which, Keyshawn has moved at a quicker pace from a competition standpoint. But, hey, I think that would be interesting for each other if that was made, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, at least.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that one, Alex? You don't seem too bothered.
It's just got to get them in those fights. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, they go at it at social media, but I mean, that fight is nowhere near being made. So it's like, why waste the energy?
Yeah. Maybe one for later down the line.
It's cool every now and then, but the constant bickering, name calling, you're a bitch, you're pussy, you ain't shit. Like, it just comes to a point where it's like, stop.
Right.
Fair enough. All right, let's move things along. As an event in Dubai there. Not too fussed with that one. Oh, we've got Regis Prograis, David Haney coming up on Saturday the 9th of December. I guess, we'll be doing a stream probably, hopefully that weekend. So we can discuss this one now. Alex, go ahead. Give us some thoughts on the main event. You can touch on some of the undercard as well if you want.
Devin Haney, man. What can you say about him? Young man, 24, turning 25, if he hasn't already. Undefeated. Pushed so hard to get to where he's at. Started off in Mexico. Went the WBC route. Lomachenko got franchised. People called him an email champion. They said he was boring. Gets his title. Takes the short end of the stick with signing with two new promoters. Taking a piece of his pie. Going to Australia twice against a guy that just beat Teofimo Lopez. Gets both those W's and then takes on Lomachenko. I think fight of the year, Lomachenko versus Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. No disrespect, Devin. Controversial fight. Maybe one day we'll put that on the list. We want to make sure we get a little time so we don't get any video issues. But nonetheless, now defending his undisputed champion. Now we're going up to 140. Face Regis Prograis. A lot of people felt that he could have got the decision against Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor goes in undisputes. He's been holding steady, gets his title shot, knocks out Jose Cepeda. And he does, he's dominant. Now he's didn't look good in his last fight against Zorrilla. I had Zorrilla winning, and it was a disgusting,
Yeah.
ugly fight. It is what it is. But now it's the big time. He's going to Dev. He was just in his hometown. Now he's going to Devin's hometown. Everything stacked against him. Devin Haney seems to be at the top of his game, and it is expected he's going to be better than ever at this new weight class. So Regis, once again, he's done it before, got the short end of the stick. I expect it to be once again. I got Devin Haney just too good a feet, too fast, too sharp. Unanimous decision by Devin Haney.
Okay, sweet. Just before we come on to yours, Josh, excuse me. Sorry about that. I had two things to mention here. You just said that you thought that Prograis lost this fight, Alex, and I can see some mad wide scores there. Were they robberies?
It was a fight, so
that
that 1-8. Yeah, I mean the wide scores. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you give it to Regis, I guess,
but not by that wide.
Hell no.
And then the other thing I was going to say is, like, looking back at Haney's resume, I mean, pretty impressive, isn't it? Going back to 2019, to kind of, I guess, prospective up and comers undefeated, and then you got seasoned veteran Gamboa takes care of business there, and another one in Linares, decent enough, and then Diaz, Kambosos twice, Lomachenko, and now Regis Prograis. That's some going. Fair play to him, and still only 25 years old.
Yep.
Very impressive. Josh, give us your thoughts on this fight and prediction as well.
Yeah, in Regis' fight with Zorrilla, I had Regis by a point, but it certainly could have gone the other way. And you know what? I think Zorrilla, he showed that he's a tough guy to deal with when he's on his game and fights the way he actually fought Devin Haney. Not easy to land on him. He's long as well. And I think he has a little bit more power to him than what may meet the eye. So that was a tough one there for Regis for sure. I think this is a good matchup here. Regis hasn't let me down in terms of those big marquee fights when he's been in them. I think it's going to be one that could end up being somewhat close. A part of me wants to lean towards Regis, but conventional wisdom seems to ride with Devin Haney. I mean, he just brings so much to the table, and the size, I think, is not going to, even though Haney is moving up, it's not going to be on Regis' side, because Haney, he's a big dude there. And man, I'd imagine he was really doing a lot to get down to 135 over these last couple of fights. So I don't think the weight's going to be an issue for him, and he's going to feel probably more comfortable at 140 than he did at 135 at this particular stage, because he's still a young guy, and he'll probably end up at some point at 147, maybe even beyond, up to 154. We'll just kind of have to see how things play out, but he's still, you could say, maybe just kind of filling out a bit more as he goes on. But I think this is going to be an interesting contest. I think the fight with Zorrilla, that isn't really defining as far as Regis Prograis, because that's just a different style to deal with. But Haney, he's going to be one of those who's certainly going to come box first. And Haney, he's going to have to take some risks to get inside to be able to land on Haney, because I think he has to get Haney's respect. And anyone who's had some success on Haney, they had to get his respect by actually landing. So, and I think the Regis is capable of doing so. But yeah, from a conventional wisdom standpoint, yeah, you probably had to lean in the direction of Devin Haney over the long run of the fight. I think it goes the distance, probably pretty close. But Haney, it just seems to be his time right now. And Regis will be game, but I can see Haney moving on. And then, we'll see what's next as far as the big fight at 140. Maybe him and Teofimo Lopez, a fight that was talked about at 135 pounds as well.
Yeah, interesting. There's quite a lot of decent fights to be made around that, lightweight, super lightweight divisions. I'd be in agreement with that. I think Haney's probably going to win on points. I think it'll be fairly wide, though. I think he'll just be too good for Regis Prograis. The other thing I was going to say is you mentioned, Alex, to keep in mind Haney and Lomachenko for a potential rewatch. Also, Regis Prey versus Josh Taylor. I know you touched on that. That was a very close fight. One we could rewatch as well. Growing list of Josh Taylor fights that are close and controversial. On this card, then there's Liam Paro and Montana Love. Does that intrigue anyone to talk about?
Yeah.
Nope. Well, at least you know he gets some eye candy with everybody, nothing else.
Andy Cruz, he's in there going to get someone 21-1. It's his second fight.
Yeah, unfortunately though, that guy's injured.
That, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
they haven't found a new opponent yet.
Got you.
Gotcha.
That's pretty ambitious, though. You know, decent records for a second fight.
Yeah, Tanahara was a top U.S. amateur. Was with Golden Boy. Was undefeated. Took off like 2 years and then got beat the fuck up by William Cepeda.
Oh, yeah.
Got you. Okay, well, I guess they're not going to get anyone as a replacement that's quite as dangerous as that, I guess.
There's a name to watch there. It's Beatrice Ferreira. She's supposed to be a beast. So a lot of hype behind her in small boxing circles.
Okay. Brazilian.
It's the alias, not necessarily the punching power, but you never know. You never know. She fought in Sheffield.
We know the Brazilian females do very well in MMA. We'll see how she's able to run things here in the sport of boxing.
Right, interesting. Okay, we'll wrap that one up. There's also another event that night. Oh my word, there's one in UK as well. Fuck me. We'll continue for another 5 minutes. Robeisy Ramirez also in action against undefeated Rafael Espinoza. That name doesn't ring a bell to me at the moment. Josh, go ahead, give us some thoughts on this card.
Now, I'm not sure if I've seen Espinoza or not. Looking at his record, looks pretty good. But yeah, I'm wondering what names are on there.
He's been on some Golden Boy cards.
Okay.
Like undercards.
All right. Now, I will say that I thought, with all the talk, we were essentially going to get Robeisy Ramirez versus Luis Alberto Lopez, which I thought would have been a very interesting fight for sure. Looks like that is going to have to wait. Now, Robeisy Ramirez, I think he's continued to come on as a fighter, and I think he's getting better. I haven't seen him kind of peak out yet. I think he's getting better, at least from my perspective, compared to when he started out. And we've literally seen him. Top Rank has pretty much kept him on cards or high-profile cards. So we've seen a lot of Robeisy Ramirez. Great win over Abraham Nova, which I think was the one that ended up getting him the title, the WBO World Featherweight title. And I think, hey, Robeisy, he's still continuing to grow. Sky's the limit in some sense. I'd like to see him in there with one of those top guys there in or around the division. And I think that will continue to help bring out kind of what more may be in store for Robeisy Ramirez, who we know was a decorated amateur, just one of those top flight amateurs. And thus far has done pretty well considering he has a world title here, 14 fights in. So more to come for sure. As mentioned, Espinoza, don't know a ton about him. Maybe he puts up a fight, but Robeisy Ramirez, make no mistake about it, is a guy they see, or Top Rank at least, they had seen from the beginning as being one of those guys who could be at the top of the division and essentially run a division. So we'll see how that trajectory continues to excel forward.
And Alex?
Yeah, man, Otre, man, like you said, that Abraham Nova fight, he lifted our moniker because it looked like a train that hit Abraham Nova, knocked him out silly. So basically, him and Venado got a fight, right? That's the fight everyone wants to see. It's probably the best fight in that division currently that comes to mind. Well, you got Brendan Figueroa as well, but the stupid sides of the streets. So it'll be interesting. Venado, his peculiar way of fighting against Robeisy, who's the Olympian. So they say that's going to be next. Everything goes through, no injuries. And check this out. The winner will be up to fight anyway. Once anyway moves up. So high stakes. Everybody wants that Inoue fight now because they know it's going to be big money, big publicity. Get your name buzzing. They got Rubisi out here in South Florida. I will be in attendance to this fight.
Cool.
The plan is to be working media, so I'm definitely going to have hopefully a really good seat, get a chance to talk to these fighters, and get a little bit of an insight. Xander Zayas, he's the co-feature. He actually trains out there in Broward County, not terribly far from Pembroke Pines. This is supposed to be a stepping stone to a former champion. That's the word that they're saying. So whoever that could be, they're basically saying Zayas, we're getting close. It's going to be your 18th fight. After this, it's time to. He's highly ranked, so it's time to really get you in there to see where you are mixed in with the champions. And I definitely want to shout out Richard Torres finally fighting somebody that is seen as a guy that is not some guy off the street. Curtis Harper, infamously known for losing without a punch being thrown against Efe Ajagba.
Is he the one that walks out?
Yeah. Yep, that's him.
Yeah.
But he also went and upset Christian Thun, who's a 6'8", was undefeated, knocked him down and got the decision. So he obviously he's not just there to be a dead body, hopefully, and so definitely. And also Damian Nibba actually fought Curtis Harper, knocked him out in the last round. He's fighting a guy that was a former late prospect, Michael Polite Coffee. So this card actually has some decent names. You see Sushu. Rohan Polanco's fighting Keith Hunter, who's the brother of Michael Hunter. Tiger Johnson, Jahai Tucker, filled with top ranked names. If you follow U.S. Olympians, U.S. fighters, young bloods, this is a nice hardcore card for you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, recognizing all of the, excuse me, it's showcase night, isn't it? Really, all of them names seem to appear time and again, probably together.
But they're in tough fights, though.
Oh yeah.
The word is top rank is cutting. So lose and you lose your contract.
Yeah,
interesting.
I think, Eddie Hearn mentioned something along them lines recently about them looking to cut some contracts potentially.
You said Matchroom's looking to cut their contracts?
Yeah, I think I saw that a few weeks back.
It's not good for boxing, man.
No, hey. So maybe this means better fights. Of course, we'll see. But certainly with Showtime pulling out and just thinking about the overall trajectory, we're going to need to continue to build up that fanfare, especially with some of the demanding purses up top. But this seems like a pretty solid card overall right here, one where you can pretty much watch every fight starting at the very start of the preliminaries, because a lot of these guys are pretty solid. It'll be interesting to see how Jahai Tucker looks, who's exciting guy who has some mental lapses there in the ring and took a loss his last time out. But certainly one of those guys who stylistically makes for exciting fights, even though it might be to his detriment. And I agree with Alex on Richard Torres. This will be a chance to see how he does with Curtis Harper, a tough guy, but someone you can get out of there as far as he can be stopped. In Richard Torres, I mean, we know him as a very offensive heavyweight, so I think it would say, let's say, a little something if he's able to stop Curtis Harper, which many haven't necessarily done, but with Torres and his trajectory, I think this will be a good look for him if he's able to blast through him in a similar fashion to how he's done with a number of his other opponents.
Okay. And I just very quickly will just mention this, that Chris Billensmith is also in action randomly on a Sunday. Yeah, I'm not so sure what that's about. But yeah, Sunday in Bournemouth, so he'll get a bit of a crowd.
We can actually preview that next broadcast, because that's the broadcast we're supposed to. That's that night of the broadcast.
That night, we can just mention it, I guess. But yeah, that wraps us up, I think. Excellent stuff. Perfect. We've just gone over 2 hours. It's gone 7 p.m. here, 2 p.m. over in your time. I know, Josh, you need to go over to 86 Boxing. You're going to get the weekly boxing chit with Buzz, I assume. So yeah, make sure once you've hit like on this stream and you've subscribed to the channel, you head over to 86 Boxing. You subscribe there as well, and you go over to the live section and make sure you catch their stream. that's going to get started very soon. Thank you both boys for being here. Full house. This was really fun. It's always really good to score some fun boxing matches with you both. So thank you again. Want to do it again in a couple of weeks?
Yes,
Say it again.
sir.
I said, do you want to do it again in a couple of weeks?
Oh, yeah, that's the plan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm for it.
Excellent. All right. Make sure you keep an eye out, and we'll definitely confirm that the stream in 2 Sundays' time will go ahead. I think Alex needs to do some research possibly and figure out the next fight that we're going to cover, or he might already have it in mind. We will let you know, though, in the not too distant future. All right, boys. Time to sign off. Goodbye.
Peace all.